Have you ever received an unexpected sum of money, seemingly out of nowhere, and paused in holy wonder, asking yourself, why did this blessing find me when I did not even ask? Beloved soul, I tell you, nothing in the divine order is by chance. Every coin, every opportunity, every door that swings open unbidden, comes by the mysterious law of the spoken word and the vibration of your faith. For there is a great ledger in heaven, where every idle word is recorded, and every living word returns multiplied. You may think the blessing came uninvited, yet it was your faith whispered in secret, your thought clothed in power, your word released into the unseen, that commanded it into form. The universe does not answer complaints, nor fear, nor begging. It answers only the bold decree of the soul who dares to stand and say, I am one with the source of infinite supply. Beloved, I speak to you as one sent to remind you of your forgotten inheritance. You are not a beggar in the courts of fate. You are the heir of a kingdom, rich beyond imagining. And when you speak the word in alignment with divine law, all the hosts of heaven move to perform it. Today, I will show you, not by empty phrases, but by eternal principle, how to release the treasures of heaven into your visible life. For money, health, love, success, all these are but shadows of the real substance, awaiting your recognition. The word spoken in faith is the wand in your hand. And as surely as the sun rises, what you decree in alignment with the law shall come to pass. Now open your heart, incline your ear, and still your restless mind, for the Spirit is speaking. Have you ever received an unexpected sum of money, seemingly out of nowhere, and stood still in astonishment, asking yourself why the heavens chose to open for you at that exact moment? My friend, I tell you, there are no accidents in the realm of spirit. Eve. Rye gift that descends into your hands has been summoned by law, sometimes consciously, often unconsciously, yet always by law. The treasure that flows to you is never random. It is the exact outpicturing of words once spoken, thoughts once sown, seeds once planted in the soil of the infinite. Nothing comes to you that has not first been invited, for the universe is the servant of your own decrees. The great mystery is this: you may not remember the decree, you may not recall the word, you may not recognize the thought that carried such power. Yet heaven never forgets. The subconscious mind never forgets. The divine law records with exactitude every vibration you set in motion, and at the appointed hour, it must return multiplied. As it is written, by thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned. It is your word, the word clothed with faith, that is the creative cause of all that appears. The ancients knew this truth, the prophets thundered it across the ages, and in every era, the wise have discovered that substance follows the word, as surely as shadow follows form. Yet modern man, busy with his inventions, intoxicated with his machines, often forgets that the true engine of creation is not metal nor steam, not electricity nor code, but the spoken word directed by the authority of spirit. Edison may have harnessed the light, but the light itself was spoken into existence in the beginning, when the voice declared, let there be light. Andrew Carnegie may have built his fortune from steel, yet he himself confessed that his wealth began in a vision, in a conviction, in a word held firmly until the invisible drew the visible into form. Walt Disney, ridiculed for his castles in the air, proved that castles in the air can be built of stone, when a man refuses to speak defeat. The law is changeless, words are not idle, words are seeds, and as sure as a seed becomes a harvest, so shall your word return unto you. Consider carefully what you decree, for the world rushes to obey. Too many cry out in ignorance, I am poor, I am unlucky, nothing ever works for me, not knowing that their very speech is the wand that seals their condition. Others, trembling in fear, rehearse sickness, failure, and lack, calling it prudence, when in truth it is prophecy. The law has no sense of humor, it cannot distinguish between jest and earnest, it hears only vibration, and it fulfills that vibration with precision. I once knew a woman who, in moments of frustration, would cry, that makes me sick. Soon enough, her body obeyed, and sickness walked in her flesh. Another would sigh daily, I am always losing money, and so she lost. Not because God willed it, but because her word decreed it. Yet I have seen others who dared to speak life, even when appearances mocked them, and behold, the very heavens bent low to bring them the harvest. One man, without a dollar in his pocket, would affirm, I walk in abundance, my supply is infinite. Though ridiculed, he persisted, and in a short time opportunities swarmed to him like bees to the flower. Do you not see? The word is not a mere sound upon the air, it is the vibration of creation itself. "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." Every man who aligns his word with the Word of God becomes a co-creator with the infinite. That is why Christ declared, "Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away." The eternal substance of all form is the Word. Faith, then, is the hand that wields the Word. Without faith, words are as sounding brass and tinkling cymbals. But when faith clothes the Word, when conviction stands behind it, nothing in heaven or earth can prevent its fulfillment. Fear is faith inverted. Fear is simply faith in evil, faith in lack, faith in disaster. And the word spoken in fear bears fruit just as surely as the word spoken in faith. When Job cried, "The thing I greatly feared is come upon me," he testified to the same law. Fear is the creative power misdirected. Faith is that power aligned with truth. The question then becomes, what are you speaking? What decrees do you daily utter into the ethers? For your tongue is the rudder of your ship. With it, you may steer into prosperity, or with it, you may steer into ruin, and the seas obey without resistance, because the law is impartial. The law knows no favoritism. The law does not choose sides. The law is servant to the word, and the word is servant to faith. Beloved, consider the artist at his canvas. He begins with vision, with imagination, with a silent word within. And then he takes his brush and paints in alignment with that word. The canvas becomes what was already formed in the unseen. So it is with you. Every circumstance of your life, though it appear outward, is but the canvas of your past words and thoughts. If you would change the picture, you must speak a new decree. Do not waste your breath describing the old image. Do not rehearse the lack, the sickness, the loneliness, for to do so is to repaint the same sorrow. Speak the new, and persist until the picture yields. Orison Swett Martin declared, "Deep within man dwell those slumbering powers, powers that would astonish him, forces that would revolutionize his life if aroused and put into action. Those forces are set in motion by your spoken word." Ernest Holmes wrote, "Change your thinking, change your life." I would add, change your speaking, and your world must conform, for thought unspoken is like a soldier unarmed. The word gives it weapon, the word gives it form, the word sets it in motion. Have you not read, "Say unto this mountain, Be thou removed, and be thou cast into the sea, and it shall obey you"? Christ did not say, "Think about the mountain." He did not say, "Worry over the mountain." He said, "Say unto the mountain." The command is spoken. The word moves the obstacle. Let us then cast aside the idle chatter of complaint and put on the garment of decree. Speak only what you would see. Utter only what you would outpicture. Declare abundance, and abundance must come. Proclaim health, and health must spring forth. Affirm joy, and joy will blossom in your path. Refuse to lend your tongue to defeat, for every syllable shapes destiny. I knew a woman who longed for a home of beauty, yet she would continually say, "I can never afford such things." Her tongue sealed her prison. One day she learned the law, and she reversed her decree. She began to say, "Infinite Spirit opens the way for me, my right home is waiting, and I claim it now." She spoke it daily, even while dwelling in a dingy apartment. Within weeks, a series of seeming coincidences led her to a home beyond her imagination, at a cost easily met. She laughed in wonder, but I reminded her, it was not coincidence, it was law. Another, a man deeply in debt, would cry, "I shall never be free of this burden." And so the burden grew heavier, but when he dared to change his decree, when he declared, "God is my supply, I am rich in divine substance, I see my debts paid and my hands free," the tide turned, opportunities came, unexpected income appeared, and within months he was free. So it is with you. Your world may appear fixed, but in truth it is clay in your hands. Your word is the sculptor. Speak defeat, and defeat hardens. Speak victory, and victory takes form. Speak lack, and lack multiplies. Speak supply, and supply overflows. The word does not return void. Thomas Troward, the great metaphysician, declared that the law of liberty is the law of growth, and growth is the outpicturing of thought. He insisted that spirit creates by self-contemplation, and that man, made in the image of spirit, does likewise. Your self-contemplation is revealed in your words. Speak long enough of sickness, and it is your self-contemplation. Speak long enough of lack, and it is your self-contemplation. But when you dare to contemplate the infinite, when you dare to utter words of power in alignment with the eternal, then growth must take place, and your life must blossom. Beloved soul, you are not a victim of circumstance. You are not a pawn of fate. You are a creator, clothed in flesh, armed with the word. Life will echo what you speak. The treasures of heaven are waiting. The hosts of supply are poised. The doors of opportunity stand ready to swing, but they await your decree. Speak, and it is done. Now, if your tongue has betrayed you in the past, if your lips have rehearsed sorrow, do not despair. For one true word in faith can cancel 1,000 idle words. One decree of truth can uproot a forest of error. The instant you align your speech with the divine, the tide begins to turn. Do not measure by appearances. Do not demand instant proof. Speak the word and leave the timing to God, for his ways are perfect, and his timing never fails. Remember this: money is not your supply, work is not your supply, friends are not your supply. God alone is your supply, and God is limitless. Money is but the symbol, the shadow, the outer crust. The real gold is divine substance, and that substance responds to your word. When you decree wealth, you are not commanding paper bills, but calling forth the invisible substance from which bills and coins and opportunities are but expressions. Align with the substance, and the symbols must come. Do not ask, how shall it come? The moment you ask how, you chain the law with human reason. Reason is limited. Faith is limitless. Reason says, it is impossible. Faith says, with God, all things are possible. Release the how, and speak the what. Declare, I am divinely provided for. Money comes to me in perfect ways. I walk in abundance. And then let the law perform the how. The supply may come by business, by gift, by inheritance, by opportunity, by what the world calls miracle, but to spirit, all are the same. Swami Vivekananda said, the powers of the mind are like rays of light dissipated. When they are concentrated, they illumine. Your words concentrate your rays. They focus your light. Scatter your speech with fear, and your power dissipates. Focus your speech with faith, and your life illumines. Beloved, speak today as one who knows. Say not, I hope, but I know. Say not, perhaps, but it is done. For faith is not hope. Faith is knowing. The word spoken in knowing carries the vibration of completion. That vibration moves heaven and earth. Therefore I declare to you, from this hour, you are to guard your tongue as the gate of your destiny. Speak no more against yourself. Speak no more in fear. Speak no more of lack. Lift up your voice in decree, for your word is your wand. What you decree in alignment with truth must appear. The invisible currents of supply are forever flowing, but man dams them with the walls of doubt and the fences of fear. Fear whispers, what if there is not enough? Faith declares, there is more than enough. Fear asks, how will I get it? Faith proclaims, it is already mine. Fear cries, I must toil, I must struggle, I must bend beneath the yoke. Faith answers, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Which voice is upon your tongue, beloved soul? For the voice you choose becomes the world you live in. Think of the farmer who plants his field. He does not stand over the seed, wringing his hands, demanding to know how the stalk will break the ground, how the sun will warm it, how the rains will descend. He plants in faith, knowing that the laws of the earth are sure. He sleeps, he rises, and in time the harvest appears. So it is with the spoken word. Plant it in faith, water it with expectation, guard it from the weeds of contradiction, and wait in quiet confidence. The harvest is certain. The world is full of men and women who have unknowingly cursed their own fields. They declare, I never get ahead, and so their field yields weeds. They sigh, I am always struggling, and so their ground grows thorns. Others complain, no one helps me, everything is against me, and lo, the harvest is misery. The tongue is the trowel, shaping the soil of destiny. How much wiser to declare, the lines are fallen unto me in pleasant places. Yea, I have a goodly heritage. How much greater to affirm, I expect only good, for only good is the will of God for me. Napoleon Hill, after studying the titans of industry, concluded that every fortune began with a definite purpose and a burning desire. Yet what is desire unspoken? What is purpose unuttered? The desire must be clothed in word, the purpose must be spoken into form. When you dare to speak your purpose with faith, you summon unseen allies. You set in motion the invisible machinery of the universe. Ideas find you, people are drawn to you, doors open before you, not by chance, but by law. Consider the visionaries of history. Columbus declared a new world across the ocean when sailors trembled in fear of falling off the edge. His word held them steady until land appeared. Martin Luther, hammering his theses to the door, declared a new spiritual freedom when the powers of his day said it could not be. The Wright brothers declared flig it possible when the world mocked them as fools. Each dared to speak, and the world bent to their decree. What then can you not decree? You may say, but I have spoken, and nothing happened. I answer you. If you have spoken in doubt, you have spoken against yourself. If you have spoken in fear, you have decreed delay. If you have spoken one word of faith, but 10 of contradiction, then you have sown both wheat and weeds, and your harvest is confusion. Purify your speech. Let your decree be consistent. Let your word be one, for the double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Ella Wheeler Wilcox, the poet, wrote, "You never can tell what your thoughts will do, in bringing you hate or love, for thoughts are things, and their airy wings are swifter than carrier doves." If thoughts are things, how much more are words? For words give wings to thought. Words give vibration to vision. Words are the heralds of destiny. Beloved, you must take your words seriously, for the universe does. Do not speak idly, "This kills me, I can't stand this. I'm broke." Each phrase is a command. Each jest is a decree. Train your tongue to speak only life, only truth, only abundance. Declare, "Every day, in every way, I grow richer and richer." Declare, "Unexpected money flows to me from the invisible in perfect ways." Declare, "I am divinely guided, divinely protected, divinely provided for." And stand fast, unmoved by appearances, until the outer reflects the inner. Carl Jung observed that, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. The word spoken in faith is the bridge between the conscious and the unconscious. It takes the seed of desire from the hidden chambers and plants it in the fertile ground of the subconscious, which then produces it without resistance. This is why affirmations work. When spoken with conviction and persistence, they reprogram the subconscious. They plant new seed. They uproot the old thorns. Perhaps you say, "But it feels false to declare abundance when my purse is empty." I answer, the emptiness is the lie, the abundance is the truth. The empty purse is but a shadow, a temporary outpicturing of past words. The infinite substance of God is present, waiting to flow, if you but open the gate of speech. To declare lack is to agree with the lie. To declare abundance is to agree with the truth. Choose this day whom you will serve. I once knew a man on the verge of ruin. His business collapsed, his health declined, his friends abandoned him. Yet he learned the law, and he began to speak. "I am one with the infinite. Divine substance is my unfailing supply. My good is now flowing to me in avalanches of abundance." He spoke it daily, sometimes in tears, sometimes in weakness, yet he persisted. Within a year, new ventures opened, health returned, relationships were restored. He became a testimony to the power of the spoken word. Do not despise small beginnings. Do not mock the seed, for the oak itself was once hidden in the acorn, and the mighty river begins as a trickling spring. Speak, even if only a whisper. Speak, even if your faith trembles. Speak, and keep speaking, until the whisper becomes a shout, until the trembling becomes triumph, until the unseen becomes seen. The law of the word is exact. It does not waver. It does not sleep. You may delay its harvest by contradiction. You may divert its course by fear, but you cannot annul it. As sure as the sun rises, what you decree in faith must appear. Your life today is the echo of your yesterday's words. Your tomorrow will echo what you speak this very hour. Choose wisely. Do not think your words affect only yourself. The vibration of speech circles outward, touching others, shaping environments, shifting atmospheres. One word of encouragement can heal a broken heart. One decree of blessing can alter the destiny of a family. One affirmation of faith can ripple through generations. Speak as though angels are listening, for indeed they are. Speak as though heaven itself will carry out your command, for indeed it will. Beloved, I would have you awaken to the majesty of your own tongue. It is the key to the treasury. It is the wand in your hand. It is the rudder of your ship. Guard it, guide it, glorify God with it, and above all, use it consciously. Speak what you would see, declare what you would be, and remember that every word is a prophecy. The world will call you naive. The realist will scoff. The cynic will sneer. The doubter will laugh. Let them, for the realist builds only what he sees, while the visionary speaks what is not yet seen, and compels it to appear. The cynic remains chained to appearances, while the speaker of faith reshapes appearances to match the eternal. Do not argue. Do not defend. Simply decree, and let results silence the scoffers. Gurdjieff taught that most men live asleep, moving as machines, repeating words without power, uttering phrases without consciousness. Awake souls speak differently. Their words carry weight. Their decrees shift reality. Strive, therefore, to awaken. Let your every utterance be conscious. Refuse idle chatter. Refuse gossip. Refuse complaint. Let your speech be yea, yea, and nay, nay, for anything more comes of weakness. The power is not in the multitude of words, but in their alignment. One true word spoken in faith outweighs 1,000 muttered in fear. Christ did not speak long prayers. He spoke short decrees. Be thou clean. Take up thy bed and walk. Peace, be still. And it was so. Do not think you need to persuade the universe with long speeches. Speak with authority, and the universe obeys. Therefore, I charge you this day, begin a new discipline. Watch your words as a gardener watches his field. Refuse to let weeds of fear grow unchecked. Refuse to let thorns of doubt take root. Speak only seed that yields harvest. Declare morning and night the truth of your abundance, your health, your joy, your right place. Writ. Your decrees. Speak them aloud. Sing them if you must, but keep them ever before you. For repetition engraves, and what is engraved in word becomes engraved in life. From this day, let your tongue be the servant of your destiny, not the saboteur. Let your speech be the music of heaven, not the noise of despair. You are heir to the kingdom, not a beggar at the gate. Your inheritance waits upon your decree. Speak it, claim it, walk in it. And so I say to you, beloved soul, unexpected money is not a trick of chance. It is the law responding. Huge sums of money are even now circling toward you, drawn by the magnet of your decree. Do not repel them with words of doubt. Do not shut the gate with fear. Speak in faith, and the river of supply will rush to meet you. For you did not ask in the ordinary sense, but your soul asked, your faith asked, your unspoken conviction asked. And the law cannot deny a decree once uttered. Therefore, rise in boldness. Open your mouth in confidence, and declare. I walk in the kingdom of supply. Infinite substance flows to me now. I am rich in God, and God is rich in me. Every bill is paid, every debt dissolved, every need supplied, every desire fulfilled. I speak, and it is done. This, beloved, is the beginning of wisdom, the foundation of manifestation, the first step into your inheritance. Guard it, live it, speak it, and watch as your world transforms before your very eyes, for your word is your wand. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. These words were written long ago, yet they remain the eternal key to manifestation. Without faith, the word is powerless, for faith is the invisible garment that clothes the decree. It is the life within the syllable, the fire behind the sound. Faith is not hoping, not wishing, not trying. It is knowing. It is the calm certainty that what is spoken in alignment reables deo. If truth must appear, though the heavens fall and the earth be moved. Vision is faith's twin. Faith sees the invisible, and vision paints it upon the canvas of imagination. The artist within must first behold before the hand can shape. The architect must first envision before the stone is laid. The inventor must first dream before the machine is built. Faith holds the unseen as substance. Vision beholds it as form, and the word calls it into manifestation. Beloved soul, how do you see yourself? For as a man seeth, so is he. If your vision is small, your world will be small. If your vision is clouded with fear, your world will be filled with obstacles. If your vision is bold and lifted up, your world will rise to meet it. You cannot outlive your vision, nor can you outgive your faith. The outer is but the shadow of the inner. Thomas Edison, before light burned in glass, saw in vision the lamp that never dies. Men laughed, critics scoffed, failures multiplied, yet faith held him steady. When asked about his thousands of failed experiments, he replied, I have not failed. I have simply found 10,000 ways that will not work. That is faith. The calm knowing that the vision is true, though appearances scream otherwise. Andrew Carnegie, the steel magnate, began as a poor immigrant boy, yet he held within him a vision of vast supply. He spoke of abundance, he dreamed of greatness, and the law obeyed. He himself declared that men who accumulate wealth are merely trustees, channels of divine substance for the blessing of others. He knew the truth that wealth is not hoarded, but circulated, that faith in infinite supply multiplies both for the giver and the receiver. Walt Disney stood on barren swampland in Florida, surrounded by skeptics, and declared that he saw castles and kingdoms where others saw only mosquitoes and mud. His vision became concrete, his faith became empire, because he dared to speak what others dared not dream. His soul. Childlike belief drew substance to form. The power of vision is not limited to the so-called great, it is the birthright of every soul. You are as free to envision as Edison, as free to decree as Carnegie, as free to dream as Disney. The same spirit breathes through you, the same law obeys you, the same substance awaits your word. The question is not, can you, but will you? Dr. Frank Crane declared, what is a vision? It is the picture in your mind of what you want to do, to have, or to be. If you hold it long enough and believe in it strongly enough, it will come true. He spoke what prophets have spoken, what sages have repeated, as within, so without. Yet beware, the imagination is a two-edged sword. The same power that can lift you can cast you down, depending on how it is wielded. Vision held in fear creates nightmare. Vision held in faith creates paradise. The worrier imagines disaster, rehearses ruin, pictures poverty, and then lives in the shadow of his own creation. The man of faith imagines triumph, rehearses blessing, pictures abundance, and then walks in the light of his decree. Your imagination is the womb of your world. Guard it, cherish it, sanctify it. Refuse to picture what you do not wish to outpicture. Refuse to entertain images of defeat, for the image is but the embryo of the event. Instead, hold in your mind the picture of what you desire, as though it were already complete. See yourself as you wish to be, walk in the halls of your vision. Speak as though it were done, and the law must bring it forth. Prentice Mulford, one of the New Thought pioneers, declared that thoughts are things, and that the law of attraction works universally on every plane of action. He insisted that what a man dwells upon in thought he draws into his life. If this be true of thought, how much more of word? For the word is the magnet intensified, the thought vocalized, the vibration magnified. Do not belittle the power of your inner pictures. When you speak words of abundance while secretly picturing lack, your decree is weakened. Align the picture with the word, and you release atomic power. Imagine prosperity, speak prosperity, act in prosperity, and prosperity must manifest. Imagine health, speak health, act in health, and health must manifest. Christian D. Larson wrote, "Promise yourself to be so strong that nothing can disturb your peace of mind, to talk health, happiness, and prosperity to every person you meet." He understood that faith and vision are not private luxuries but public ministries. When you hold faith, you radiate it. When you carry vision, you inspire it. When you speak prosperity, you multiply it in others. The law works through you not only for yourself, but for all who cross your path. Consider the eagle. When storms rise, lesser birds hide in fear, but the eagle spreads its wings and soars above the clouds. Faith is that eagle's wing. Vision is that upward flight. Speak, and you rise above appearances. Decree, and you mount above storms. For the storm cannot quench the sun, it only hides it for a season. Likewise, appearances cannot quench truth, they only mask it until faith pierces through. Beloved, do not ask small. Do not picture crumbs when a feast is prepared. Do not beg for pennies when the kingdom is yours. Lift your vision, widen your faith. The infinite is infinite. The storehouses of heaven are overflowing. The angels of supply are waiting for your call. To ask small is to dishonor God. To expect little is to mock his abundance. Dare to decree the mighty. Dare to imagine the impossible. For with God, nothing is impossible. Annie Ricks Millets taught that God is the lavish, unfailing abundance, the rich, omnipresent substance of the universe. All things proceed from this substance. She urged students to claim the higher divine inheritance, to affirm without wavering that supply is ever present and that faith releases it. She, too, knew the truth that your vision draws from this omnipresent substance, and your faith molds it into form. Perhaps you fear presumption. Perhaps you shrink, thinking, "Who am I to ask for greatness?" I answer, you are the child of the King. You are the heir of divine substance. You dishonor your source by shrinking. Humility is not groveling. Humility is agreement with truth. And the truth is that God desires you to prosper, for in your prosperity his glory is revealed. The vine is glorified when the branch bears fruit. The Father is glorified when the child manifests abundance. To walk in lack is to slander your source. To walk in supply is to praise him. Swami Vivekananda declared, "All power is within you. You can do anything and everything. Believe in that. Do not believe that you are weak." He knew what Christ knew, what all masters know. The spirit within you is one with the infinite. Faith in that spirit moves mountains. Vision aligned with that spirit reshapes worlds. Beloved, I urge you, begin today to cultivate faith as a muscle, to exercise vision as a faculty. Faith grows by use. Vision sharpens by practice. Spend time daily beholding your desired life in imagination. Speak it aloud. Feel it as real, and then walk in confidence as though it were already done. Do not look for signs. Do not demand proof. Proof will come, but faith is its own evidence. Vision is its own reward. Napoleon Hill, in his great work Think and Grow Rich, spoke of the burning desire that transforms into riches. Yet he warned that desire without faith is but a dream, and faith without persistence is but a wish. Combine desire with faith, vision with decree, and persistence with patience, and you have the formula of the ages. Remember, you are not creating something new. You are releasing what already is. The abundance you seek exists now in the invisible. Faith claims it, vision beholds it, the word calls it forth. The law does not invent, it reveals. The law does not manufacture, it manifests. Supply already is, healing already is, joy already is. You are not begging God to create, you are commanding the veil to lift. Ernest Holmes declared, "There is a power for good in the universe and you can use it. That power is faith, that power is vision, that power is the word. It is not reserved for prophets or sages, it is the heritage of every soul. Use it, and the universe bends. Ignore it, and you drift as a leaf upon the stream of chance. Beloved soul, awaken, cast aside the blindfold of appearances. Tear down the prison of doubt. Lift up your eyes and see the fields white with harvest. The supply you crave is already ripe, waiting for your sickle of faith. The life you dream is already complete in the invisible, waiting for your decree. Do not delay, do not hesitate. Speak, see, believe, receive. And when appearances mock you, when the world calls you foolish, when the storm rages and the mountain looms, stand fast. Say with the prophet, though the fig tree shall not blossom, neither shall fruit be in the vines. Yet will I rejoice in the Lord, I will joy in the God of my salvation. For faith is not faith when the vine blossoms, faith is faith when the vine is bare. Vision is not vision when the castle stands. Vision is vision when the ground is empty. Hold fast, and the ground will yield, the vine will blossom, the castle will rise. Beloved, this is the law of faith and vision. It is the golden key, the hidden treasure, the pearl of great price. Guard it, cherish it, use it. For by faith the worlds were framed, by vision empires were built, by decree kingdoms rise, and by your word. It's spoken in faith and painted with vision, your own world must transform. Every word spoken in faith sets in motion unseen forces, but the law also requires the step of right action, for faith without works is dead. Action is the seal of belief, the outward stamp of the inward decree. When the word is spoken and the vision held, you must move as though it were already done. This is right action, to live in alignment with the decree, to walk as though the promise is fulfilled, to act upon the invisible as though it were visible. Do you recall the story of the Israelites at the Red Sea? Hemmed in by water before and an army behind, they cried out in fear. But the command of God came, go forward, not stand still in despair, not turn back in defeat, but go forward. And as they moved, the waters parted. So it is in your life, the seas of difficulty will not part while you stand trembling in hesitation. They part when you take the step in faith. Right action precedes the miracle. Beloved, many speak the word, but then contradict it with inaction. They decree abundance, but they act as though poverty still chains them. They affirm guidance, but they wander as though lost. They declare opportunity, but they sit idle, waiting for doors to open of themselves. The law is precise. You must act as though the word were true. That act is the bridge between the invisible and the visible. When you speak abundance, walk in dignity. When you decree supply, pay your bills with joy, even if the purse seems thin. When you affirm guidance, listen for the whisper and obey it without delay. When you declare opportunity, step boldly into every open door, knowing that Spirit leads you. Right action is not frantic doing, it is calm obedience to the inner direction. It is the movement of faith. Consider the farmer again. He plants the seed, but he does not sit idly. He waters, he tends, he clears weeds. He does not create the harvest, but he cooperates with the law of growth. So it is with you. You do not manufacture supply, but you cooperate with the law through action in alignment with your decree. Non-resistance is the other half of right action. To resist is to cling, to struggle, to fight against appearances. To resist is to feed what you would banish. What you resist persists. What you fight strengthens. But when you practice non-resistance, you disarm the problem. You remove its power by refusing to lend it energy. Christ declared, "Resist not evil." He did not mean to accept evil as permanent, but to refuse to fight it with fear. To resist evil is to magnify it. To turn from evil to truth is to dissolve it. When the problem arises, do not rail against it, do not curse it, do not give it life with your words. Instead, speak the truth. This too is good, this too shall pass, only good can come to me. And the shadow dissolves in the light of non-resistance. Gandhi, armed with no sword but the principle of non-resistance, overthrew an empire. His quiet refusal to fight on the enemy's terms revealed a power greater than armies. Martin Luther King Jr., walking in the same spirit, shook the foundations of injustice without raising a weapon. These men proved the cosmic law: to resist is to entangle, to release is to free. In your life, resistance often hides in subtle forms. You may say, "I decree abundance," yet secretly resent those who prosper. That resentment is resistance, blocking your own flow. You may affirm health, yet rail against symptoms in fear. That fear is resistance, feeding what you wish to dissolve. You may declare guidance, yet stubbornly insist upon your own plan. That stubbornness is resistance, closing your ear to Spirit's whisper. The path of non-resistance is the path of trust. To trust is to release. To release is to allow the law to act without hindrance. The river of supply flows swiftly when unblocked. Do not dam it with fear, resentment, or doubt. Let go, and it will carry you to your destination. Consider water itself. It does not resist the stone. It flows around it. It does not fight the mountain. It wears it down in time. It yields, and in yielding it conquers. So must you yield, not to defeat, but to spirit. Yield your fears, yield your plans, yield your resistance, and let the current of divine order carry you. Right action and non-resistance are not opposites but companions. Right action is the step forward, the movement of faith. Non-resistance is the release of struggle, the surrender of fear. Together they form the dance of manifestation. Act and release, move and trust, decree and allow. Andrew Carnegie once said, "As I grow older, I pay less attention to what men say. I just watch what they do." Words must be clothed in action. Action reveals faith, yet action without non-resistance becomes strain, toil, and weariness. Non-resistance brings ease, grace, and flow. Together, they create effortless success. Beloved, there is a divine order guiding your steps. When you speak the word and move in faith, that order opens the way. Do not strive to force doors open. Do not pound upon walls in anger. Simply declare, "Infinite Spirit opens the way for my right place, my right work, my right supply." Then move in faith, and watch the doors swing without effort. I once knew a woman who longed for employment. She affirmed daily, "I am divinely guided to my right work." Yet she resisted by clinging to her old position, fearful of release. Not until she let go, practicing non-resistance, did the new door open. Within days, she was offered a position far greater than the one she lost. Her release made room for her blessing. Another man, burdened with debts, affirmed supply, but resisted by resenting his creditors. His resentment blocked the flow. When he learned to bless them, to give thanks even for the debts, as opportunities to prove the law, the resistance melted. Unexpected income came, debts dissolved, and peace returned. Right action is sometimes bold, sometimes still. At times you are called to step forward, at times to wait in faith. The key is listening. The still small voice within will guide you unfailingly if you but quiet the clamor of fear. Non-resistance is the silence that makes space for guidance. Right action is the obedience that follows it. Thomas Troward declared that, "Principle is not bound by precedent. Do not resist new paths because they differ from old ones. Do not fear new methods because they break tradition." Spirit is ever creative, ever fresh, ever beyond precedent. What has never happened before can happen for you, if you release resistance and act in faith. Ella Wheeler Wilcox wrote, "There is no chance, no destiny, no fate can circumvent or hinder or control the firm resolve of a determined soul. But determination is not struggle. It is faith in action, persistence without resistance. It is calm certainty, not frantic toil. It is steady forward motion, not desperate striving. Beloved soul, I tell you, life need not be battle. Life can be flow. The law does not require strain. The law requires decree, faith, vision, action, and release. When you live in this rhythm, life becomes effortless. Supply appears without struggle, guidance comes without fear, opportunities open without force. You become like the tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth fruit in its season. Right action will sometimes demand courage. Non-resistance will sometimes demand surrender. Both are faces of the same faith. To act when called requires boldness. To yield, when guided, requires trust. Both are obedience to spirit. Both release miracles. Remember Christ in Gethsemane. He acted by speaking the decree, "Not my will, but thine be done." He resisted not the cup, but yielded, and in yielding, conquered death. The greatest victory came not by resistance but by surrender. So it is with you. Your greatest triumph will come not by clinging but by releasing, not by struggling but by flowing, not by forcing but by yielding. Beloved, I say to you, act in faith, release in trust. Move when Spirit says move, wait when Spirit says wait. Resist not appearances, but turn from them to truth. Do not wrestle with shadows, but walk in the light, and you will find that mountains move, seas part, doors open, debts dissolve, enemies vanish, health blossoms, and supply overflows. This is the law of right action and non-resistance. It is the secret of effortless success, the rhythm of divine manifestation. Live it, and your path shall shine brighter and brighter unto the perfect day. Beloved soul, the law is exact, the word is spoken, faith is ignited, vision is held, action is taken, resistance is released. Yet there remains a sacred element that governs the appearance of all manifestation, divine timing. For every flower has its season, every harvest its appointed hour, every star its moment to shine in the night sky. The acorn does not demand to be an oak overnight, yet within it lies the entire pattern of the tree. And so it is with every word spoken in faith. It contains within itself the pattern, the timing, the unfolding ordained by infinite intelligence. Impatience is the thief of miracles. To decree and then demand instant appearance is to uproot the seed before it has sprouted. The farmer who digs daily to see if the seed grows finds only disappointment. The wise farmer plants, waters, waits, and trusts the law of growth. He knows that, though he cannot see the roots spreading in secret, the harvest is inevitable. In the same way, your decree is working in the unseen long before it appears in the seen. Divine timing is not delay, it is precision. Spirit knows the right people, the right opportunities, the right alignment, the right door, the right hour. What seems to you like waiting is preparation. What feels like delay is orchestration. The law is arranging the stage, aligning the players, weaving the tapestry. To demand before the pattern is complete is to settle for less than perfection. To trust divine timing is to receive the miracle in its full glory. Beloved, think of Thomas Edison. He labored through 1,000 failures before the light bulb shone. Each seeming failure was not delay but preparation. The timing of that invention was ordained, and no struggle could hasten it, no discouragement could stop it. Edison's persistence was faith in action. His patience was alignment with divine timing. When the appointed moment arrived, the light appeared, and the darkness of centuries fled. Think of Walt Disney, bankrupt, ridiculed, mocked for his visions. He held fast to the picture in his mind when all appearances declared it impossible. He trusted the timing of Spirit, and when the fullness of time came, the world beheld the kingdom of imagination made visible. Had he surrendered to impatience, the vision would have withered. But faith held, timing ripened, and manifestation burst forth. Beloved, manifestation is the meeting place of your decree and divine timing. When faith speaks, heaven records. When patience waits, heaven arranges. When the fullness of time arrives, heaven delivers. To doubt in the waiting season is to block the harvest. To trust in the silence is to accelerate its approach. Faith is not only speaking, faith is waiting with certainty. Consider the words of Scripture. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. The promise is sure. The decree is certain. The harvest cannot be withheld. Your task is not to time the miracle, but to trust the law. For impatience is resistance. Patience is non-resistance. Impatience says, I do not trust the law to act without my pushing. Patience says, it is done in spirit, and I wait with joy to see it unfold. Non-resistance in timing is holy surrender. When you release your timetable, you open yourself to greater miracles than you could imagine. The law may have prepared something far beyond your expectation, but impatience would settle for less. Trust the delay, for it is not denial, it is perfection being woven. Beloved, many abandon their decrees because the manifestation seems slow. They dig up their seeds with doubt, cancel their prayers with fear, contradict their affirmations with complaints. They say, it did not work, but the word always works, for the word is law. It is not that the decree failed, it is that they withdrew their faith before the timing ripened. The harvest was on its way, but impatience turned it back. Divine timing is also protection. Spirit may delay to shield you from premature manifestation. What you think you want today may be poison if received before you are prepared. Spirit delays until you are ready to handle the blessing. Just as a parent does not hand a child the keys to a chariot before the child can steer, so Spirit does not deliver the treasure until you can steward it. The delay is mercy, not punishment. Consider Joseph in Egypt, betrayed, enslaved, imprisoned, yet every delay was preparation. Each step was positioning. At the appointed time, he was elevated to rule a kingdom and preserve nations. Had he escaped the prison prematurely, he would not have stood in Pharaoh's court. The delay was the setup for his destiny. So it is with you. Your delays are setups. Your waiting is preparation. Your prison is the path to your throne. Manifestation is certain when you align decree, faith, action, release, and timing. It may come suddenly, like lightning flashing across the sky, or gradually, like dawn spreading over the horizon. But when it comes with perfection. Spirit never delivers half-formed miracles. Spirit delivers full harvests. Beloved, speak your decree and release it. Say, Infinite Spirit, I now release this word into divine substance. I trust your timing. I rest in your orchestration. It is done, it is sealed, it is finished. Then live as though it were already so, while resting in the certainty that Spirit cannot fail. Remember the words of Ernest Holmes. Treatment is not for the purpose of making things happen. It is to align ourselves with what already is. Manifestation is not creating, it is revealing. The blessing exists already in the invisible. Divine timing is the process by which it becomes visible. Christian D. Larson declared, "The great secret of life is to believe before you see. To believe in the invisible is to accelerate manifestation. To doubt in the visible is to delay it. Believe that it is done, and it will be revealed." Beloved, divine timing is also divine sequence. One step prepares the next. One door opens to another. Do not despise the small beginnings. They are the seed of the great manifestation. The first coin of unexpected income is the seed of abundance. The first kind word is the seed of love fulfilled. The first idea is the seed of empire. Bless the beginnings, and the harvest will multiply. Manifestation often comes in ways you least expect. Spirit is infinite in method. Do not dictate the how, decree the what. Release the method to Spirit. The law will use channels you cannot imagine, people you have not met, doors you did not know existed. Your task is to decree the result and trust the method. I knew a woman who affirmed daily, I have a lavish income, consistent and dependable. Yet she expected it to come only through her job. She resisted other channels. When she released her resistance and opened to Spirit's ways, unexpected streams appeared. Gifts, opportunities, commissions, inheritances. Supply overflowed when she stopped dictating the channel. Spirit is the source. Channels are infinite. Beloved, manifestation is the natural outcome of the law. Just as surely as water flows downhill, your decree flows into form. The law cannot be mocked. The law cannot be broken. The law cannot be stopped. Speak, believe, act, release, and in divine timing, manifestation is inevitable. Now hear me. You did not stumble upon this word by accident. Spirit brought you here to remind you that your decree is already working, your harvest is already ripening, your manifestation is already being arranged. Do not dig up your seed. Do not cancel your decree. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. You may feel weary in waiting. You may feel doubt in silence. But this is the hour to hold fast. This is the moment to stand. For the dawn always breaks after the darkest hour. The harvest always comes after the season of waiting. The manifestation always arrives when faith holds to the end. Beloved soul, I say to you, trust the law. Trust the timing. Trust the process. For manifestation is certain. Harvest is sure. Blessing is inevitable. As surely as the seed becomes the tree, as surely as the night gives way to dawn, as surely as the word returns multiplied, so shall your decree come to pass. And when it does, when the blessing appears, when the money arrives, when the door opens, when the health blossoms, when the dream stands in visible form before your eyes, you will know it was not by your struggle, but by the law. It was not by your toil, but by your word. It was not by chance, but by divine order. Beloved, manifestation is not a reward, it is a law. Speak, believe, act, release, trust, and it must come. This is your inheritance, your birthright, your divine authority. Walk in it, and nothing shall be impossible unto you. And now, beloved soul, if this word has stirred your spirit, if this truth has ignited your faith, I invite you to join in spreading this light. Subscribe, that you may never miss a revelation of truth, like this message, that it may reach others wandering in the shadows. For every act of sharing is a seed sown, and every seed sown returns multiplied. Together, we shall flood the world with the knowledge of divine law, until every soul awakens to its inheritance. Faith is the golden key that unlocks every door in the universe. Faith is the unseen bridge bridge between the word spoken and the world revealed. Without faith, the decree is but sound upon the air. With faith, it becomes a command engraved upon divine substance. Faith is the evidence of things not seen, the assurance of things hoped for. Faith does not wait for proof. Faith is proof. Faith does not ask for signs. Faith is the sign. Beloved, to walk in faith is to live in a world invisible to the eye, yet more real than stone. It is to know that what is decreed in the secret chamber of the soul is already accomplished in spirit. Faith does not plead, will it be? Faith declares, it is done. Faith does not tremble at appearances. Faith laughs at impossibility and says, it shall be done. The disciples once asked Christ, increase our faith. And he replied, if ye have faith as a grain of mustard seed, ye shall say unto this mountain, remove hence, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you. Notice, faith as a grain of seed, not faith as a mountain. For it is not the size of faith that moves the mountain, but the purity of faith. A single seed of faith, untainted by DMGs. Out, is enough to command worlds. Doubt is the shadow that clouds the light of faith. Doubt is divided vision, a house divided against itself that cannot stand. To decree with the lips and doubt in the heart is to cancel the word, but when the word and the heart agree, the decree becomes fire, and fire consumes every obstacle. Vision is faith clothed in image. Vision is the divine faculty that beholds what is not yet and calls it into being. Where there is no vision, the people perish. Where there is vision, the people prosper. Vision lifts the soul from the bondage of appearances and plants it in the realm of the real. Vision sees the invisible and makes it visible. Think of Walt Disney, mocked when he drew a mouse on paper. Others saw a rodent. He saw an empire. Vision sustained him through bankruptcy, ridicule, and rejection. Vision lifted him when appearances declared failure. And the vision held in faith became the Disneyland that millions now walk through, living inside his dream. Think of Andrew Carnegie, a poor boy in a factory, earning a few cents a week. Yet in his mind's eye, he beheld not poverty but wealth, not bondage but freedom. His vision expanded beyond the soot and smoke, and his faith aligned with the law. That vision carried him from rags to one of the richest men of his century. Beloved, wealth begins not in the purse but in the mind. The purse is but a shadow, the mind is the substance. To see poverty in the mind is to reproduce it endlessly in the outer. To see abundance in the mind is to magnetize it in the outer. Vision is the mold into which divine substance pours. If the mold is small, the manifestation is small. If the mold is large, the manifestation is large. Expand your vision, and your world expands. Non-resistance is the atmosphere in which faith and vision grow. To resist is to strangle the vision with fear. To release is to weigh. Tear it with trust. Wealth flows where there is no dam of resentment, fear, or control. The open hand receives. The clenched fist repels. Beloved, many block their wealth by clinging, hoarding, fearing loss. They hold so tightly to their coins that no new coins can enter. They resist the flow and the stream dries up. But the soul that gives freely, that blesses every gift, that trusts the law, becomes a fountain. The more it gives, the more it receives. The more it blesses, the more it is blessed. The law is circulation. As you sow, you reap. As you release, you receive. Swami Vivekananda declared, all power is within you. You can do anything and everything. He saw the divinity in man, the infinite supply within. When you resist, you deny that power. When you yield, you release it. Faith without non-resistance is strain. Vision without non-resistance is fantasy. But faith with non-resistance, vision with non-resistance, produces manifestation. Beloved, the wealth of the world is not held in vaults of stone, but in the vault of divine substance. That vault is infinite, inexhaustible, eternal. It is opened by faith, shaped by vision, drawn by non-resistance. The richest man who hoards in fear is poor. The simplest soul who trusts in spirit is wealthy. Wealth is not possession but consciousness. Possession without consciousness is bondage. Consciousness without possession is freedom. But when consciousness and possession meet in divine order, there is true prosperity. Carl Jung spoke of the collective unconscious, the vast reservoir from which thoughts and archetypes flow. I tell you, beloved, that divine substance is a higher reservoir, infinite and overflowing. Every form of wealth, ideas, inventions, opportunities, resources, flows from that reservoir. The mind attuned in faith becomes a channel. The vision-focused soul becomes a magnet. The non-resistant heart becomes a vessel. And through such a soul, the treasures of heaven pour into the earth. Do not despise the day of small beginnings. The coin in you, or hand, may be the seed of empire. Bless it, and it multiplies. Curse it, and it shrinks. The widow in Scripture gave her 2 mites, and Christ declared she gave more than all the rich. Why? because she gave in faith, in vision, in non-resistance. She opened herself to infinite supply, and heaven recorded her wealth. Beloved, expansion requires daring. To expand vision is to step beyond the boundaries of appearances. To expand faith is to speak what the world calls impossible. To expand wealth is to give when the purse feels thin, to bless when the heart feels heavy, to trust when the road seems dark. Expansion is born in risk, but risk in the law is not danger but deliverance. For when you leap in faith, Spirit bears you up. Napoleon Hill declared, "Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve." That is the law of vision and faith. Conceive it in vision, believe it in faith, release it in non-resistance, and manifestation is inevitable. Beloved, wealth is not only money, wealth is time, health, love, opportunity, joy. Money without peace is poverty. Money without love is emptiness. Money without purpose is bondage. True wealth is wholeness, harmony, fulfillment. When you decree wealth, decree the whole blessing, abundant money, radiant health, overflowing love, divine purpose. For the law does not deliver fragments, it delivers fullness. Do not limit your vision to coins, expand it to kingdoms. Do not limit your faith to bills paid, expand it to lives transformed. Do not limit your wealth to possessions, expand it to influence, legacy, impact. For you are not called to survive, you are called to overflow. You are not called to scrape by, you are called to reign. You are not called to beg, you are called to bless. Beloved, every empire began with a vision, every invention began with faith, every fortune began with non-resistance. The Wright brothers saw men flying when others laughed. Carnegie saw wealth when others saw poverty. Disney saw kingdoms when others saw mice. They were not greater than you, they simply dared to believe, to envision, to release. I tell you, the same spirit that guided them guides you. The same law that prospered them prospers you. The same substance that supplied them supplies you. The difference is only in vision, in faith, in non-resistance. Dare, believe, release, and your world will expand as surely as theirs. Do not say, I cannot. Say, Spirit can. Do not say, it is impossible. Say, with God all things are possible. Do not say, I am limited. Say, I am unlimited, for I am one with infinite supply. Let your words align with faith, your mind align with vision, your heart align with non-resistance, and you shall see wealth pour forth in ways beyond your imagination. Beloved soul, expansion is not for the few, it is for the faithful. Spirit is no respecter of persons. What has been done for one can be done for all. The law is impersonal, precise, exact. Speak, believe, envision, release, and it must obey. I say unto you, the floodgates of wealth are open, the river of supply is flowing, the treasure of heaven is pouring. Do not dam it with fear, do not block it with doubt, do not resist it with resentment. Open wide in faith, expand in vision, release in trust, and you shall be filled. Beloved soul, the invisible always precedes the visible. Every tree once lived hidden in the seed, every empire once existed in the mind, every miracle once dwelt in the unseen. To manifest is not to create from nothing, but to call forth from the eternal into the temporal, from the spiritual into the material, from the invisible into form. The form is but the shadow. The substance is the word. When the word is spoken in faith, the form must appear, for the shadow cannot resist the light that casts it. Christ declared, by their fruits ye shall know them. The fruit is the manifestation. The tree is the consciousness. The seed is the word. If the fruit is lack, the seed was fear. If the fruit is sickness, the seed was discord. If the fruit is strife, the seed was resentment. But if the fruit is abundance, the seed was faith. If the fruit is health, the seed was harmony. If the fruit is love, the seed was blessing. The law is exact. As you sow, you reap. As you decree, you manifest. As you believe, it is done unto you. Beloved, manifestation is not random. It is not chance. It is law. Just as the law of gravity pulls the apple to the ground, the law of faith pulls the invisible into visibility. The word is law. The universe bends to it. Angels hasten to perform it. Substance rushes to clothe it. Manifestation is not a miracle in the sense of violation. It is a miracle in the sense of fulfillment. It is the natural outworking of divine law. Think of George Washington Carver, who looked at the humble peanut and by vision and faith drew forth 300 uses. He did not create the potential. It was always there. He called it forth into form. Manifestation is revelation, not invention. The riches of spirit are infinite, awaiting the mind that dares to ask, to seek, to knock. And when you knock, the door shall be opened. Beloved, the law of multiplication governs manifestation. For the word does not return void, it returns multiplied. Speak lack, and lack multiplies. Speak fear, and fear multiplies. Speak sickness, and symptoms increase. But speak faith, and blessings multiply. Speak abundance, and supply overflows. Speak love, and affection surrounds you. Multiplication is the nature of the law. The widow brought her small supply of oil, fearing it was not enough. The prophet commanded, "Borrow vessels, not a few." As she poured, the oil multiplied, filling vessel after vessel, until every jar overflowed. So it is with you, what you call little is enough to multiply, if placed in the hands of Spirit. The law does not require much, it requires faith. Faith is the catalyst that multiplies the loaves and fishes, that turns water into wine, that stretches oil into abundance. Beloved, you may think your resources are too few, your strength too small, your opportunity too limited. Yet Spirit requires only what you have. Place it upon the altar of faith and it multiplies beyond measure. The coin in your purse, the gift in your hand, the vision in your heart. These are seeds. Do not curse the seed for being small. Bless it, plant it, release it, and the law will multiply it into harvest. Do not despise your current circumstances. They are the soil in which the seed of your decree is planted. Poverty is not permanent, it is soil. Sickness is not eternal, it is soil. Struggle is not destiny, it is soil. And soil is but the womb of manifestation. From the darkest soil springs the brightest blossom. From the lowest place rises the highest mountain. From the empty jar flows the multiplying oil. Beloved, the law of multiplication is impersonal. It multiplies what you give it. If you sow discord, it multiplies discord. If you sow blessing, it multiplies blessing. You cannot plant thorns and reap roses. You cannot speak curses and expect miracles. You cannot dwell on fear and manifest peace. The law is exact. Whatever you release multiplies. Therefore, release only that which you desire multiplied. Release words of faith, thoughts of abundance, acts of generosity, visions of greatness. These shall return pressed down, shaken together, running over. Orison Sweat, Martin D. Declared, what keeps most people back is simply lack of faith in themselves. I say to you, it is not faith in the self that manifests, but faith in spirit within the self. Self-confidence wavers, God-confidence never fails. Faith in the limited self produces limited results. Faith in the unlimited spirit produces unlimited manifestation. Beloved, manifestation into form is accelerated by gratitude. Gratitude is recognition of the blessing before it appears. Gratitude is faith made visible. The soul that gives thanks before the harvest reaps swiftly. The one who complains delays the blessing, for gratitude is a magnet and complaint is a repellent. Bless every penny, and pennies become pounds. Bless every step and steps become journeys. Bless every door, and doors swing wider. Gratitude multiplies, complaint diminishes. Non-resistance again is key. Do not resist the form of the blessing. Spirit may manifest through channels you least expect. You decree supply, and it may come through an idea, a friend, a stranger, an inheritance, a promotion, a gift. Do not resist the method. Say only, this is the channel Spirit has chosen. I receive it with joy. To reject the form is to reject the blessing. To receive with gratitude is to multiply it. Beloved, manifestation is sometimes sudden, sometimes gradual. The oak grows slowly, the mushroom overnight. Both are manifestations of the law. Do not compare your harvest with another's. Do not despise slow growth, for slow roots bring strong trees. Do not envy sudden miracles, for sudden lightnings vanish quickly. Trust your process, for your manifestation is tailored to your soul. G.I. Gurdjieff taught of inner work, the transformation of being. Manifestation without inner change is unstable. Wealth without consciousness is squandered. Success without wisdom is ruin. Spirit manifests in order, ensuring that inner readiness match. Outer blessing. If you have not yet seen the form, it may be that Spirit is perfecting you for the gift. When the vessel is ready, the oil pours. Beloved, words are seeds, thoughts are blueprints, actions are confirmations. Manifestation is the union of all three. Speak the word with faith, envision the form with clarity, act as though it were already, release it in trust, give thanks in advance. This is the formula of manifestation. It is simple, eternal, unbreakable. I tell you, beloved, you are manifesting even now. Every circumstance in your life is the harvest of yesterday's decrees, thoughts, and beliefs. If the harvest displeases you, plant new seed. Do not curse the field, change the seed. Do not lament the fruit, change the root. For the soil obeys whatever seed you sow, and the law multiplies whatever seed you release. Manifestation is not magic, it is law. It is the law of cause and effect, of seed and harvest, of faith and substance. To master manifestation is not to beg for miracles but to align with principle. Once aligned, manifestation becomes natural, inevitable, effortless. The unseen becomes the seen as surely as dawn follows night. Beloved, imagine your desire fulfilled. See it in vivid detail, feel it as though it were real, give thanks for it in advance, release it to spirit, then move in faith, act as though it were done, and wait in trust. This is manifestation. This is the law in action. Remember the loaves and fishes. A few were offered in faith, and thousands were fed. The supply multiplied as it was given. So too in your life, what you give multiplies, what you release expands, what you bless increases. Hold fast in fear, and it shrinks. Release in faith, and it overflows. Beloved, the time of your manifestation is near. The decree has been spoken, the seed planted, the law engaged. Do not falter in the final hour. Stand still and see. The word cannot return void. The seed cannot remain barren. The law cannot fail. You are the sower. Spirit is the multiplier. The world is the faience. Yield. Manifestation is the harvest. Sow in faith, release in trust, reap in joy. For the law is certain, the process unfailing, the harvest inevitable. Beloved soul, I declare to you, your word is even now clothing itself in form. Your decree is even now multiplying in substance. Your vision is even now stepping forth from the unseen. Do not doubt, do not waver, do not resist. Trust, bless, release, and receive. For the law is working, and the blessing is on its way. Beloved soul, the journey now comes to its radiant crown. The place where faith becomes sight, where the unseen pours itself into the seen, and where every whispered decree finds its echo in visible form. For manifestation is not the end of the story, but the revelation of eternal law, that God has never withheld, that supply has never ceased, that abundance has always waited, eager for your recognition. You did not create this law, nor can you break it. You may only align with it or resist it. Yet even in your resistance, the mercy of Spirit waits, gently calling you back to truth, whispering, all that I have is thine. You have spoken the word, you have planted the seed, you have watered it with faith, released it in trust, and blessed it with gratitude. Now comes the harvest, pressed down, shaken together, running over. Look not to the barren places of yesterday, but to the green pastures of today. Look not to the empty jar of the past, but to the oil that multiplies even now. Look not to the failures behind you, but to the victories ahead. For manifestation is not in some distant tomorrow, it is unfolding here, now, in the eternal present where God abides. Do you see, beloved, how the invisible currents of spirit arrange themselves? How doors open that no man can shut? How the right people, the right opportunities, the right resources converge in perfect timing? This is the orchestration of divine order. To the fearful, it looks like coincidence. To the faith-filled, it is providence revealed. For nothing is by chance in the kingdom of spirit. Every detail is governed, every movement ordained, every blessing aligned with the word you have spoken. The prophet Isaiah declared, Thou shalt decree a thing, and it shall be established unto thee, and the light shall shine upon thy ways. Decree not in timidity, but in authority. Decree not as a beggar, but as a king. Decree not as one hoping, but as one knowing. For the decree is law, and the law must establish itself. When the word is spoken in faith, heaven and earth unite to fulfill it. The light shines, the way clears, the form appears. Think of Walt Disney, who walked orange groves in Florida, and saw not trees but castles, not soil but kingdoms, not land but vision. The world laughed, but his decree stood. Today millions walk in the manifestation of a vision once invisible. Think of Carnegie, who built an empire of steel not by chance, but by faith and principle. Think of Edison, who failed 1,000 times yet held the decree of light until it clothed itself in form. Think of every prophet, every poet, every dreamer, every seer. Their visions manifest because they aligned word, faith, and action with the eternal law. Beloved, do not say, it is too late. Spirit knows no age. Abraham was old when the promise came. Moses was aged when he led the people. Caleb declared at 85, I am as strong this day as I was in my youth. Time does not bind the spirit, spirit governs time. Say not, I have missed my chance. In God, nothing is missed. The opportunity you think is gone will reappear in higher form. The blessing you think delayed is arriving at perfect timing. Trust the eternal now. Do not say, I am unworthy. Worthiness is not earned, it is inherent. You are worthy because you are a child of God. You are worthy because you are the temple of the Spirit. You are worthy because Christ dwells within you. To declare yourself unworthy is to deny your divine inheritance. Rise and claim it. Say, I am thy of abundance, health, love, success. I am worthy of miracles. I am worthy of supply. For as you speak, so it is established. Do not say, I fear it will not last. What Spirit gives is eternal. The blessing may change form, but the substance remains. The house may crumble, but supply remains. The coin may be spent, but abundance remains. The body may age, but life remains. The form is shadow, the substance is eternal. Anchor not in the shadow, but in the substance, and you shall never fear loss again. Beloved, you stand at the river Jordan, the threshold of your promised land. You may look at the giants of doubt, the walled cities of fear, the rivers of resistance, and tremble. Or you may say as Caleb said, we are well able to possess the land. Possession is not by might nor by power, but by Spirit. The land is already yours. The blessing is already yours. The supply is already yours. Cross the river in faith, and the walls will fall, the giants will flee, the land will yield. The law of divine supply is infinite. No blessing you receive diminishes the whole. No miracle in your life robs another. The abundance of Spirit is without end. The kingdom is not a pie divided among beggars. It is an ocean in which all may drink. Fear says, if I prosper, another suffers. Truth says, as I prosper, I bless the whole. For your abundance circulates, multiplies, blesses beyond your sight. Beloved, manifestation is not the end but the beginning. Every harvest becomes seed for the next. Every blessing is multiplied as it is shared. Hold your supply with open hands, and it flows endlessly. Clutch it in fear, and it withers. Circulate your good, and it circulates back multiplied. Give, and it shall be given unto you. Sow, and you shall reap. Share, and you shall overflow. For circulation is the rhythm of Spirit, the breath of abundance, the pulse of manifestation. When you bless others, you bless yourself. When you lift another, you rise. When you give freely, you receive richly. To hoard is to fear. To give is to trust. The widow's mite, given in faith, outweighs the hoarded gold. The cup of cold water, given in love, calls forth heaven's reward. Nothing given in faith is ever lost. It is multiplied eternally. Beloved, I declare to you now, you are on the brink of miracles. You are surrounded by substance invisible, ready to pour into form. Your decree has gone forth. Your faith has taken root. Your vision is alive. Your supply is near. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. The river is parting. The walls are falling. The manna is descending. The oil is flowing. The abundance is manifesting. Hear this and receive it. You did not ask for this blessing, yet it seeks you. You did not demand this miracle, yet it rushes toward you. You did not purchase this supply, yet it is freely given. For the kingdom is grace, and grace is unearned. The Father knows your need before you ask, and even as you ask, it is answered. Lift your head, beloved. Open your hands. Stretch your faith. Speak your decree. Give thanks in advance. For the hour of manifestation is now. The windows of heaven are opening. The storehouses of supply are pouring. The word you spoke in secret is becoming flesh before your eyes. I call upon you to walk boldly in this truth. To never again speak lack, fear, or limitation. To never again curse your harvest, but to bless your seed. To never again doubt your worthiness, but to claim your inheritance. From this day, let your word be your wand, your decree your law, your faith your evidence, your gratitude your magnet. And as you rise into this truth, beloved, carry others with you. Speak blessings into their lives. Remind them of their inheritance. Break their chains of fear with words of faith. Circulate your abundance to heal, to build, to bless. For your manifestation is not for you alone. It is a torch to light the world. And now, as this revelation closes, I speak directly to you who hear these words across time and space. Stand as a creator, not a beggar. Walk as a king, not a slave. Live as an heir, not an orphan. Manifest as a child of God, not a servant of fear. The law is yours. The word is yours. The supply is yours. And if this message has spoken to your soul, if it has stirred your faith and awakened your vision, then let your agreement be known. Like this message, and let it ripple forth to bless others. Subscribe to this channel that you may continue to drink deeply of this living truth. For together, we are a chorus of faith, a multitude of decree, a nation of manifestors. Let us lift the vibration of the world by the word of truth spoken boldly. Beloved soul, the blessing is already yours. The miracle is already here. The abundance is already flowing. Speak it, see it, receive it, and give thanks, for it is done.